What is going on, guys, and welcome to the WWE Fastlane pay-per-view preview and prediction show. It is the 5th of March, it is Sunday, and it is the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania 33. It's coming from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is Fastlane, headlined by Goldberg stepping in the ring with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens defending his Universal title. Goldberg wins the title tonight. It's Lesnar Goldberg at WrestleMania for the title. If Owens wins, he marches into WrestleMania as the Universal Champion. We're going to divulge everything in the Fastlane show. We're going to give you my match predictions, which match I think will steal the show, the order of the show, what this show could offer. And there could be a hell of a lot of curveballs. There could be a hell of a lot of shenanigans. It's a tough show to predict. That I will say. I mean, there's no easy match to predict on this show, bar perhaps one. And even that, you could argue that there are shenanigans that could happen in this match. Fastlane could be a good pay-per-view. It really, really could. It could suck, but that's very, very simple with WWE. If they make the right booking decisions, this show will rock. As we know, this isn't always the case, but it is the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Once we get through tonight, we will know that the next time we're on pay-per-view, it will be WrestleMania. The show exclusively live on the WWE Network. You all know about that. I don't have to be Vince McMahon's fucking spokesman. But as I say, just before I get into it, apologies about the lack of Raw and SmackDown reviews at the moment. But we are back now. If you didn't know, I told a lot. I did post it on Twitter, but you haven't got me on Twitter. You probably haven't know. But my grandma did sadly pass away. A couple of weeks now ago, or probably about a week ago. So from whenever I basically took a break, she was in hospital from then. I was seeing her for about a week in hospital for her last few moments, and unfortunately, she sadly did pass away about a week after she first went into hospital. Believe it or not, the funeral 4 weeks from when she sadly passed, which is, I don't know about other people in other countries, but that just seems a hell of a long time. And just for me, I want closure. You can't look forward to a funeral. You never look forward to a funeral, but I want closure. I want to be able to say sort of, not goodbye, because I hate saying goodbye and I'm not going to say it, but thank you, farewell, celebrate her life, and get that little bit of closure. I feel like we as a family, we need that closure. My grandma meant a lot to me, and the fact is 4 weeks is just crazy. I don't know how that works in other countries, whether how long from when somebody passes away to the funeral, but 4 weeks is I mean, even in this country, I don't think that's normal. But yeah, I mean, as I say, the funeral I believe is March the 16th, so it's a Friday. So, as I say, no, it's not March the 17th. Sorry, it's the Friday. So we should be okay with Raw and SmackDown reviews. Obviously, don't expect any videos on that day, because obviously it'll be a tough day for the family, etc. But yeah, no, I just want to let you know that I'm always honest with you guys on YouTube, and I tell you guys everything. It's not for attention, it's not for sympathy. It's a terrible part of life, isn't it? Death is a horrible thing. It's one thing that we all wish never would have to happen, that we'd never have to die. But you can't worry about it, and this is what I say. You can't worry about it, because as soon as you start worrying about death, you let death win before it's even got you. So yeah, I know she's in a better place now, a peaceful place. She had Alzheimer's, she had a problem with her heart, so I know she's at peace and at ease now. She's up there with my granddad as well. So yeah, it is incredibly sad, but at the same time, I'm happy that she's peaceful. She's where she belongs, and where she belongs. That doesn't sound right. I meant heaven, obviously. Not that I'm a particularly religious person, but of course, when you go through this sort of time, religion is a way that a lot of people find their way to get through. So yeah, if there's a heaven, put it this way, she's one of these people, nicest people you ever meet. She's in heaven. Put it that way. She is 100% got a ticket to heaven. She's not like me, where it's going to be either way. It's going to be whatever God decides, or whoever makes that decision, whatever they decide on the day when I go up there, that'll be that. I mean, it's 50-50 at the moment, folks. If it's betting, you're looking at 2-1 hell. I'm odds on for heaven, not going to lie. But, things can change. But, let's get into the Fastlane preview. Apologies about the random start. As I say, I'll cut this up into various parts. So if you didn't watch this part, you wouldn't have missed anything. You will have be able to. Anyway, if you haven't watched this part, I don't know what I'm talking about. the people that haven't watched this part as if they're watching this part because they haven't watched this part. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I don't know whether you guys, if you're from Britain, I know a couple of you are. If you did miss a video that is uploaded on the MrWWEcam channel, if you're interested in politics, Jeremy Corbyn, the nonsense killing the Labour Party, check out my video. Different style video. I wanted to try it. I want to get into politics as I grow up. I'm a member of a party. And I'm trying to work on my speaking and my speeches, etc. So yeah, I would appreciate you going and checking that out, even if you don't know what I'm talking about, and just any sort of feedback on the way I was going about myself, because I realise on here I'm quite relaxed and I'm quite sort of, you know, laid back. I swear free for all here and there, and I did swear in that video. I wouldn't have done obviously if it was a public speech, and I only added it in for effect. But yeah, just, I don't know, I would appreciate that. For God's sake, we're gonna have to change rooms, because I do these videos when nobody's here, and guess what? As soon as I do the videos, everybody comes back. So we'll be moving areas, and we'll be starting this video. So yeah, let's get into the Fastlane preview and predictions right now. Okay, so the first match we'll talk about very, very briefly on this Fastlane preview and predictions show is going to be the Cruiserweight kickoff match. That, if I was to say remotely nobody cares about, I don't really think that would be too much of a lie. The Cruiserweights haven't got going. Let's be honest here. They're not remotely interesting. They're not. The division's just not giving me anything. I'm not feeling anything from it. There's no storyline that I'm particularly invested in. I'm not particularly invested in the characters. It's really fell flat. Again, not due to the fault of the talent. I don't think it's their fault. It's the way that they've been booked. There's reports Vince is getting a little bit tired and a little bit frustrated with the Cruiserweight division and the fact it's going nowhere. So what comes of that, who knows? But we do have on the kickoff show, Rich Swann and that Japanese guy who I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. I think it might be Tozawa. Well, I think I might have done it right there. Versus the Brian Kendrick, or the Brian Kendrick, sorry, and Nam Da. Faces will win, simple as that. Not remotely interested in this match. It doesn't have a chance to stay in the show. It might actually, it will more than likely, this is going to be hilarious when I say this, get more time than Cruiserweight matches get on Raw, which is half the problem with the Cruiserweight division. But right now, if I'm being totally honest with you, when the Cruiserweights come on Raw, I fast forward the segments. I fast forward the matches, because I simply have I just can't be bothered. And the problem I find is, Raw has been so much better. It's probably been so much better anyway, but it does feel like since I've been fast-forwarding the Cruiserweight parts of the show as a whole has felt so much better to me. I've come out watching it at the end thinking to myself, yeah, I enjoyed that show. I just feel like it slows things down. I just don't like it. I mean, I haven't been watching 205. I mean, there's too much content to watch. I mean, I don't watch NXT all that much. I mean, I don't even catch the specials anymore, which is, I mean, I do catch them, but not live. I don't watch 205, don't watch NXT every week, because, you know, we've got SmackDown, you know, that's 2 hours, Raw 3 hours, so 5 hours of content each week that I watch. Then every 2 weeks, when you're in the swing of things, it's another 3-4 hours of a pay-per-view. That's 9 hours a week. And there's just not enough time in the day to then add another hour for 205 Live. That makes it 10 hours. Another hour for NXT. I mean, if you've got all that time on your hands, then fantastic, and I'm sure you love it, but I just simply bloody don't. And I don't think 205's going fantastically. I think for 205 to really be successful, I think rather than filming it after SmackDown, it needs to be filmed in a similar sort of place as what NXT is, so it can get that cult following, so it can get that fan base, so the crowd's hot, and just see where it goes. But largely, the Cruiserweight division has been a huge, huge disappointment. A lot of people talking about how fantastic it was. I was very much looking forward to it, but it has really, really let everybody, I think, down, and everybody's expectations on it, which I think were pretty decent when it was first announced, have been, unfortunately, not been paid through or off. I don't know where I was going with that. Basically, our expectations have not been met. Simple as that. And it's been a really, really disappointing division. But for this tag matches, the face team will win, that being Rich Swann and Tozawa, who I like Tozawa. I think he's got a connection with the crowd, which is rare for a Cruiserweight. Okay, so next up we're doing Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Now, they faced each other at the last pay-per-view, I believe on the kickoff show, at the Royal Rumble. And I don't think it might, was it on the kickoff? I honestly can't remember. But Sasha Banks got destroyed by Nia Jax. The question I'm sure a lot are posing, what has changed since then? Some would argue not a lot. Sasha's still nursing a few injuries. You would say she's probably got over them, but Nia Jax won't have forgotten them. Nia Jax been on an absolute dominant role at the moment. It looks as if we're heading for a fatal four-way match at WrestleMania between Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, Charlotte and Bayley. If that's so, then you would have to say that Sasha Banks has to put a better showing up against Nia Jax tonight than she did at the previous pay-per-view. Otherwise, you'd be struggling to work out exactly how Sasha Banks is going to get herself involved in the women's match at WrestleMania, and why she really deserves it. If she's lost twice to Nia Jax, why does she deserve to be in the mix? That would be the only thing that I would be saying. Of course, tonight we could see, and what I think we might see, is the turn from Sasha Banks on Bayley. It's a possibility. I think they'd be smart to hold it off. There's a lot of stuff that could happen in each and every match. There's parts that and things that could happen. Returns of superstars, turns on people. But I think they've got to save some stuff for Raw. They don't want to give us all of this to us. Otherwise, we're going to have a show basically full of matches that don't have clean endings. Banks, Nia Jax picking up the victory, which seems crazy because you kind of think Sasha Banks needs the win, really. But at the end of the day, Nia Jax on an absolute roll, and if she loses, the momentum's massively lost. I can't say I'm particularly invested in this storyline or this match. I think it's had its day, and it's only a way really of getting these two on the card. Because they want to get them on the card, because obviously the Fatal 4-Way is going to happen at WrestleMania, or so we expect. That's the match that's been heavily rumoured, heavily touted. But at the end of the day, it's not one that I'm particularly looking forward to. They'll put on an okay match, but it's one of those matches where both could do with kind of winning, and both really couldn't do with losing. So it's one of those that's very, very difficult, even if you're WWE, to book this match with both coming out looking strong. I think it's a challenge. I really, really do. Next up, that's Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Jax with the win. The match is not going to steal the show, but it will probably open it. So Jax, Banks, Jax with the win. Okay, so next up is the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships being defended. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Enzo Amore and Big Cass. I mean, when the club won the tag team titles, I thought, you know what, they're going to be booked great. This is the start of the club how we wanted them to be booked when they first came in. But no. I mean, they've jobbed to Reigns. It really does frustrate the hell out of me. But I don't want to go on too much of a fucking rant. But it does piss me off because they just do not listen to fans. And this seems crazy to me. It must be a deliberate ploy. Why? Why, oh why, feed Gallows and Anderson to fucking Reigns? It doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with anybody. They can kind of repair the damage if they absolutely go through Amore and Cass tonight. They have to. I'm sick and tired of the whole SAWFT shit. That whole shit, it is stale now. It served its time. It was great. Please, can we move on from it? Enzo Amore in the ring is not there. Cass, I expect, it's been heavily rumoured that there could be a break-up between the two, and Cass be on a singles run, probably post-WrestleMania. But I mean, if for fuck's sake, if SAWFT, if Enzo Amore and Big Cass actually win the tag team titles tonight, I honestly will just give up with the tag team division. But I don't think that's what is going to happen. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, for me, are going to retain the title. And yeah, hopefully that's the case, because I don't want to see Amore and Cass winning the tag champs. What's the chance of this match being a good one? It will be good. It won't be great, because there's simply not a story and there's simply not momentum behind either team. Cass and Amore are stale. Gallows and Anderson have been booked into the shitter once again. So again, it's limiting that. We then get an all-English affair, or a British affair, sorry, between Neville and Jack Gallagher. Now, as a Brit, I probably should be looking forward to this match. I'm not excessively looking forward to this match, for the simple reason it's the Cruiserweights. I'm not particularly invested. I do think this could be a good match. Neville's top qualities we know. I've liked him since he's turned heel. He has probably been about the only thing that's been remotely interesting about the Cruiserweight division. much the same as Jack Gallagher. As much as I don't particularly like him, and I do agree with what Neville said. He's just like the stereotypical Brit. And I mean, I can tell he's a Brit. That the Jack Gallagher, there aren't many of them about. I'm deadly. This is not what normal British people are like. I just want to get that out there. There seems to be this misconception that every Brit drinks tea and sort of talks poshly. It ain't the fucking case. I mean, maybe in some very, very rare and small bloody areas where the poshies live, maybe. But in the grand scheme of things, that ain't Britain. I can assure you of that. It might have been 50 years ago or 100 years ago, but it ain't now. So, yeah, will be an interesting match. Neville will win. He'll march on to WrestleMania with the title. Who he faces, who knows, to be honest with you. And kind of who cares. The only thing that I'd remotely be interested in, a Cruiserweight match at WrestleMania, is either Austin Aries versus Neville or a ladder match for the title. I think the probably ladder match looks more likely, if I'm honest. Yeah, I think that looks more likely. But as I say, Neville to get the victory. This match will be okay. Probably won't be given enough time. But yeah, it will be a decent match. This is on paper not the most exciting show, is it? I mean, it's not that exciting, if I'm honest with you. There's a couple of matches I'm remotely interested in. I mean, the main event we'll talk about in a minute. I'm more worried than anything else. But Neville will get the win against Jack Gallagher and march on to WrestleMania as the champ. Next up, it's Zayn versus Joe for nothing, actually. I don't know. I was about to say for the United States Championship, because I kind of convinced myself that Zayn is a champ, and he's not. Jericho is. Which ain't a problem. But, Zayn versus Samoa Joe. I've really enjoyed this. They've had to think on the spot of WWE. They've had to think, oh my God, what the hell are we going to do with Samoa Joe? Came in, obviously was scheduled, one would assume, to face Seth Rollins at this pay-per-view. Rollins getting the injury, meaning that had to be kind of postponed. But having Zayn go up against Joe is a fantastic way for... the only thing is, and I know people will criticise when Joe inevitably beats Sami Zayn tonight. I know people will criticise that as soon as say, again, Sami Zayn not getting the victory, not getting that big win. You could give him this big win tonight against Joe. But I just think there isn't any point. And Zayn has the potential to really... what I think with Zayn is I think he'll be in limbo, if I'm honest with you. I think he'll be in limbo land from now until the next draft, where I think he'll go to SmackDown and we'll see his career take off. That's my personal opinion. We know Zayn's a great babyface. We'll know he'll go down tonight looking... getting that attention, getting that sympathy from us as fans. As a babyface, I think he's one of the best. There's very, very few good babyfaces, but he is a very good one. And he is one of the only superstars that I think's a better face than a heel. And for me, that's very rare. I often think people are better heels than faces. I know some people think the other way, that people are better faces than heel. But for me, people are better heels than they are faces 9 times out of 10. Zayn is one of the anomalies in that theory in which I hold. Joe, on a fantastic run, on a fantastic roll at the moment. He's gone through Reigns, admittedly not cleanly, but he did beat Reigns, beat Cesaro. Will he beat Sami Zayn? I think so. I think it'll be a physical match. I think it'll be a very good match. These two have had great battles in the past. If they bring that past up as commentators, that will really, And look, the interest there for this match. I like the ball they had on Raw. I like this feud. Obviously it's unique. It's fresh. It's great to see. These two could easily main event a Raw pay-per-view later on in the year if he doesn't get drafted to SmackDown. Joe, I think, is on a ride. And I think this will be the year of Samoa Joe. I really, really do think that. But this should be a great match. There could be some shenanigans in this. And there's kind of two options. Seth Rollins gets involved, which I think is the unlikely of the two. Or you could simply have this end in a double disqualification, a no count out thing, so we can have a rematch at WrestleMania between Zayn, between Joe. They're both on the pay-per-view. They've both got a big-time match. Their feud, which has got quite a lot of buzz, quite a lot of hype to it, has a few more weeks to really get from sort of gear 5 to gear 7. I don't know whether that exists, but let's pretend it does just for the sake of this. and then produce an even better match at the thingy. So expect them to not steal the show tonight, because I think they'll be holding something back for WrestleMania. They could do it where there's no shenanigans and Joe beats Zayn. We then get the rematch. Even still, we still get the rematch even though Joe beats him. We could get Zayn beat him with a roll-up or something like that and then get the rematch. I mean, it's hard. It's a tough match to call like all of them. But I think your safe bet is Samoa Joe. But I don't think it's a banker. I don't think there's a lot of bankers on this show. I don't think there's easy predictions whatsoever. But I think Joe wins cleanly, kinda. It's tough to call. I do think these two, though, will face off at WrestleMania, and due to that, will leave a lot in the locker. They don't want to give us all. They don't want to give us, a fantastic match and then not be able to top it at WrestleMania. They want to give us something fantastic at WrestleMania. So I expect them, as I say, to leave something in the locker. So yeah, let's move on to the next match, which is the Women's Championship match. Bayley, the champ, versus Charlotte, the Queen. So yeah, we've got Bayley versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship. Is this the night where Charlotte flares? I hate calling it that, so let's just take that back and let's just do it all again. Is this the night that Charlotte finally, the streak is over? It's defeated by Bayley, a.k.a. Brock Lesnar, and her pay-per-view streak, Charlotte's that is over. No. No is the simple answer. No is the obvious answer. She is not going to lose this streak at Fastlane. End of story. She'll lose it at WrestleMania if she even loses it then. We're playing hot potato with the Women's Championship. We really, really are. And although I don't mind that, we do have to, at some point, have somebody that holds the title for a long time. Charlotte will win it back. Charlotte will win it back. Again, there's options here, and they've got a lot of options. Screwy finish. Sasha Banks comes out, costs Bayley the championship. Hell, you could even have Dana Brooke come out, cost Charlotte the streak, because she's sick of how she's being used as a kind of... Yeah, that Charlotte's basically using her. But the most likely, Charlotte wins clean. And we see all the sort of shenanigans between Bayley and Sasha, Charlotte and Nia happen on Raw. That, again, is the safe bet. But who knows? They could put a curveball in. Sasha could interject in this match. Anything can happen. I mean, Bayley could win. I think it's the most unlikely out of all the scenarios. But yeah, I don't expect Bayley to win. I would be highly surprised if they allowed this big streak that they've been building up for the past God knows how many months as if it's a real big thing. I'd be absolutely shocked if on a kind of just a Raw exclusive, average-ish pay-per-view, they let it go. I think that would be bizarre. So, yeah, expect Charlotte to win it back, Bayley probably to win it back on Raw, then the following week Sasha Banks to win it, the following week Jax to win it, and then Charlotte to win it back at WrestleMania. That's kind of my... No, I'm joking. But, yeah, as I say, out of WrestleMania, once this stupid streak's over, someone has to hold the title for at least a month or so, for crying out loud. We can't just have every pay-per-view it changes. But yeah, for me, Bayley wins the title. Charlotte wins back the title, and this one is a good match. Does it steal the show? No, it doesn't. Moving on to the next match, and our our semi-main event, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, move on to that right about now. So it is the big dog Roman Reigns versus the legitimate monster that is Braun Strowman. You talk about big guys. We know Vince McMahon likes big, sweaty men, and he likes big guys. But if you have to say, the way a lot of big guys have been booked in WWE in recent years has failed miserably. The last big guy that they booked fantastically, some would argue, would be Big Show back in the day. And even there, over the years, they've cocked it up every now and again, and now he changes face heel all the friggin' time. But Big Show is looking absolutely ripped at the moment, looking dominant. The match that Strowman and Big Show had on Raw in that main event was a match that I really enjoyed. And I will look back at that at the end of the year, and I'll probably remember it. We saw Strowman with some incredible athleticism. I mean, he's improved so much over the past few years. Well, I mean, you think about it. When he came in, hadn't gone through NXT. hadn't really trained that long, was a newbie completely, and we were all very critical of that, and understandably so. But how much he's come along in such a short time is an incredible, incredible achievement, and one that Stroman should be amazingly and immensely proud of. What an incredible way he is turned from somebody who simply was not ready to somebody who looks ready, and hell, looks like a guy that if he is in the main event, I wouldn't really complain. And that athleticism that we saw from him, the variety of offense, his offense seems to get deeper as the weeks and the matches go on. He looks like he can hold a relatively long match. He looks like a legitimate monster, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like they've actually managed to organically make one. We've had Big Show over the years. We've had Brock Lesnar. Braun Strowman could be the next one. And I think if he is, I don't think it would be a bad thing. But how incredible they've booked him since the brand split. If you look at Raw and you say to yourself, what have they done fantastically well since the brand split? You cannot not bring Braun Strowman up in that conversation. He is one of the success stories of Raw. The way they've booked him, the way he, honest to God, looks unstoppable. The question is the man that is unstoppable and that they have booked so well going to be fed to a man that nobody wants, nobody likes, apart from the kind of... I feel like the only people that support Roman Reigns are the Indian fans. I don't know why, but it's a bit like with Cena. Cena's support... I mean, I like Cena, but I mean, a couple of years ago when Cena was winning everything, and it was Super Cena, the only people that seemed to support him were the Indian fans. I haven't got anything against Indian people, but... It probably wasn't even Indian, but the Indians, the Egyptians. I don't know why that is, but I feel the kind of same way about Roman Reigns. And obviously the women and the little children. But look, real men, real people don't support Roman Reigns. I mean, even the women with any ounce of a brain don't support Reigns. It's only the ones that are like 12 that think he's really attractive. And I don't really know what they're looking at. But anyway, nobody wants to see Reigns beat Stroman. At least I don't think so. I mean, this is another one. WWE will want Reigns not to lose cleanly. I mean, you can make Strowman huge tonight. You can make him absolutely the biggest deal in WWE tonight if he knocks off Reigns clean. Or you can destroy absolutely everything you've worked at for the past however many months with Strowman by having him lose cleanly to Roman Reigns. What do I think will happen? Neither. I think we will get The Undertaker getting involved in this match. Whether that be costing Roman Reigns, whether that be just interjecting into the match. I think we're getting Reigns Undertaker at WrestleMania, although there are some people quietly confident that he could interject into this match and we could get a three-way. A Reigns, Strowman, Taker match at Mania. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm kind of looking forward to Reigns Undertaker if it means Reigns is heel, which needs to happen. Reigns heel, I spoke about it on a previous video before. That's the way that you're going to get people to like Roman Reigns. You've got a legitimate badass heel here. If you want to turn public opinion on Roman Reigns, you want to change public opinion on Roman Reigns, he has to turn heel. Then you'll start to slowly see people like me that have been very critical of Reigns, not because of what he does, not because he's necessarily bad in the ring, but the way he's booked. It's more being critical of the writing stuff than it is Reigns specifically, or there are some stuff that he does that really do piss me off. But if you want to change my opinion, then and make this guy the legitimate big guy that you want him to be, the legitimate good guy. Not the good guy, sorry. Although, as I say, he can turn into the good guy. You can follow The Rock's path. Make him heel, then eventually turn him face. That is what could happen. You could have the legitimate big star that you want to have on your hands, but you have to turn him heel first. Simple as that. Heel Reigns versus face Taker at WrestleMania. That will be one of the hottest matches. You'll have people coming on passionately talking about how they will not want Reigns to beat Taker at Undertaker. The crowd will be so goddamn hot for it. I mean, he can become the biggest heel in the company with this feud with Taker. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Reigns is the definition of a better heel than a better face. He's too arrogant not to be a face. Not to be a heel, sorry. He's just too arrogant. Who wins this match? Reigns. No. Strowman. No. Shit. Undertaker costs Reigns so Strowman wins. That's my prediction. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Yeah, so Reigns is cost the match by Undertaker, which means Strowman wins by disqualification. That is my official prediction. But if Strowman wins, in any way, I get it right. Just saying. But yeah, I feel like this pay-per-view is a little bit short on I was about to say staff, and that ain't what I meant, on star power. Hence why I think Undertaker will be there tonight. I haven't read any dirt sheet, any rumours. I haven't heard that he's in Milwaukee, walking around as the dead man. I haven't heard any of that, but I expect Taker to be there. I'm not even going to look and see whether he is there and whether there's rumours about it, but I'm sure there is rumours. But yeah, no, could be an interesting match. Will probably be an interesting match. Again, though, I've just realised I've gone through the whole thing and I haven't actually said what match will steal the show. I reckon Reigns Strowman will probably steal the show, actually. I don't think it's going to be any amazing match here. I think it'll be more the story and the stuff that happens after in most of these matches, if I'm honest. So yeah, Strowman getting the big win over Roman Reigns, but only because Undertaker interferes. Moving on to the big thing, the big one, the main event. Kevin Owens versus Goldberg. It is on. So the main event of Fastlane. Goldberg taking on Kevin Owens for the Universal title. As I said at the start of the video, Goldberg wins. He faces Lesnar at WrestleMania for the Universal even, Championship. Owens wins. He goes to WrestleMania as the champ, more than likely to face Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is the dark horse in this match. Lesnar is a simple dark horse as well. They're not actually involved in this match, but in a weird kind of way, they kind of are. Now, the safe bet's Goldberg wins, Chris Jericho interferes. That's what you would assume. However, Trips, Joe could get involved because we've seen that alliance recently. Triple H says he's got a plan. Owens says he's got a plan. That could involve Triple H. Kevin Owens has looked like the guy in NXT that was unstoppable. He's looked like the guy for the first time since he was this guy that beat John Cena. It's the Kevin Owens we know and friggin' love. He gets squashed by Goldberg tonight, you ruin it all. I do not want this match a squash match. Goldberg's going to have to go longer than a few minutes. Simple as that. You can have Owens jump out the ring, run around the ring, Goldberg play chase. You can have Goldberg hit him with this and hit him with that. But ultimately, Kevin Owens can't be squashed. But I think he will be. I don't want Goldberg to win. I don't want Lesnar Goldberg for the championship. I don't. I simply don't want it. I want Jericho Owens for the championship. But Jericho's the US title champion, so you'd expect Owens to drop the title to Goldberg, then Owens to face Chris Jericho for the title at WrestleMania for the US title, Goldberg to face Lesnar for the title at WrestleMania. Lesnar to win, who I like Lesnar, so I'm not that disappointed, but at the same time I don't like part-timers with the title at WrestleMania, and blah, 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 blah. There you go. You then have Kevin Owens versus probably Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, most probably. But I don't want that to happen. As I say, I want Jericho to win. The only thing is, what you could have, Goldberg beats Owens, Jericho costs him it turns into like a fatal four-way. I mean, I don't think that will happen, but that's another option for the main event. Look, this is, again, an impossible match to book. It's really tough to predict as well. I mean, again, you'd have to say that the fact that Jericho hasn't really been on TV would suggest that he is more than likely going to get involved in this matchup and cost Kevin Owens. But I mean, again, anything is literally possible. But I'm pretty confident that Goldberg will come out as a champ, and that will piss me off. And it'll be a shame to end Owens' rivalry like this, Owens' run as a champ like this. But I do believe that's the way it's going to happen. As I say, which will be disappointing. But you know, it is typical WWE giving a part-timer the championship. You know, Goldberg and Lesnar doesn't need the championship to make it a great match. And to make it special. And granted, Owens-Jericho doesn't need the title. But giving Owens and Jericho the title, giving it the Universal title, is more of a benefit to their match and to their feud than giving it to Goldberg-Lesnar. If you see what I'm saying. It's tough to predict, but I think Owens loses a title when Chris Jericho gets himself involved. We then have Owens, Jericho at WrestleMania for the US title, and Goldberg versus Lesnar for the Universal. Although you could argue fucking Lesnar could get involved. Lesnar could get involved in this match and cost Goldberg. That could happen. Hunter could get... I mean, again, like most matches, screwy finishes could legitimately happen. Let's just go through it. Owens, Goldberg. We've said the screwy finishes of that one. Reigns, Stroman, Undertaker element. Bayley, Charlotte, Sasha Banks element. Possibly even the Dana Brooke element. Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe. Possibly the Seth Rollins element. Neville, Jack, Gallagher, okay, no. Tag Team Championships, again, no. Although Cesaro and Sheamus did have a mini feud with Amore Cass. It could happen, I doubt it. If this show didn't have so many, then it probably would. Banks, Jax, no. The tag team match, no. But I mean, you're looking at... If we look at the main show, you're looking at the big four, which is Joe, Zayn, Bayley, Charlotte, Reigns, Stroman, Owens, Goldberg. Those four have an element of could end screwy. If they do all four as that, this show will suck. But what you can have is Sami Zayn, Joe doesn't need it. Bayley, Charlotte doesn't need it. Reigns, Strowman does. Owens, Goldberg probably does. And that's fine, if I'm honest. But that's it for this WWE Fastlane preview and predictions. We just go through. Goldberg wins. Strowman wins. Charlotte wins. Joe wins. Neville wins. At the moment, I've said 5 heels. I suppose Goldberg's a face, so take that back. Gallows and Anderson win. Jax win. And the face team win. Let's just talk about the main show there. That's put up an interesting point. Jax, heel wins. Tag Championship, that's another heel win. Neville's a heel, he wins. Joe wins, he's a heel. Charlotte wins, he's a heel. Strowman wins, he's a heel. If Kevin Owens wins, on the main show, the heels would have won. It would be the night for the heels, but who knows? Anything can happen. It's a WWE pay-per-view. Literally anything can happen, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below on Fastlane. Hope you do enjoy the show. I'll be back at some point tomorrow with a preview, and with a review even. Hopefully another preview, because hopefully it would have happened. And no doubt I'll be fuming that Kevin Owens will have lost the championship. But it is only a few hours away. It starts, the kickoff show that is, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, GMT time, 12 o'clock, live exclusively on the WWE Network. We see Goldberg take on Kevin Owens. Which man is headed into WrestleMania in Orlando in about 4 weeks' time as the champ? We will find out in about 15 hours' time. It's going to be a great show, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it too. I'll be on Twitter at MrWWEcam, tweeting throughout the show. No doubt tweeting my displeasure at some of the stuff that goes on, and hopefully we'll get some OMG shock moments and some decent matches as well. Don't expect this show to rock, but I don't think it will be too bad. The ultimate thing that will dictate whether this show is a great show or a average bad show will be the booking at the end of matches. Who wins and how the loser is booked. So that's going to be the big thing. But as I say, 9 hours, 5 minutes and 16 seconds, 15, 14, 13 seconds. It's going down as we speak, which is a good thing because that means time hasn't stopped until Fastlane starts. When this video gets out and when you're watching it, it will be merely hours before the show. Fastlane 2017 is just around the corner. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.